Hey guys, Trey back again with another video. And in today's video, I'm going to do a request that I've gotten to add grouping to our table component. Let's go ahead and actually get into this. This is going to be a pretty quick and easy one to do. So let's go to our table.js file, and underneath our page state here, we're going to add some new state. So we're going to say use state, and then I'm going to call this formatted list. All right, it's going to equal list to start off with. So this is where we're going to hold the grouped list. So when the list becomes grouped, we're going to put it in here, stored in here, because we can't alter this list here. So that's what we're going to use to display that. The next thing we want to do is actually create a function that will do our grouping. So I'm going to come down here right before the return statement. I'm going to create a function called group by. All right, and this function is going to take a column name. Inside of this function, we're going to have a placeholder. Basically, it's going to hold the information while we're actually doing the grouping. So I'm going to set this up. I'm going to say const grouped list. All right, and we're going to set this up as an object. The reason we're creating an object here and not an array is because we want to be able to add elements to a specific group, right? So let's go here. So as you can see here in our table, let's say we wanted to group by the subject, right? Right now it's not going to make too much sense because these are all different. So let me get some of these that are the same. All right, so say we wanted to group everything in the subject column. So we want the algebras to be next to each other, and we want the biologies to be next to each other. So what we're going to do is we're going to create in that object, we're going to create a field that's going to be called algebra. It's going to be called biology, for each one. And then we will set that field equal to a list, and then we'll add in the elements as we go. So if that didn't make sense, I'm going to show it to you right now. So now that we have this placeholder, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to loop through each item in our list. So the list that we passed in up here as prop, we want to say list dot for each, and then we're going to have item, and then inside of here, this is where we actually want to do basically our check and our grouping. So I'm going to say set this value up, right? And this value is going to be the item, and then we want to get that column name. Okay, so this is going to get that, and if it's empty, then we're just going to say unknown. All right, so this is going to get that column's value. So the value from the column that we want from each, from each item that we're grouping by. All right, and then we want to basically check to make sure that this value already exists as a field in this object, okay? Because if it doesn't exist, then we need to create it. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to say if the grouped list, the value is not present, then we want to go ahead and create a new list. So we're going to say grouped list value equals an empty array, okay? So that's going to create our array so that we know we have somewhere to put this information. So once we do that, we can go ahead and just add it to the group list. So we'll say group list value dot push, and then we'll throw in the item there. All right, and this is going to create a new list for us. All right, and then it'll add whatever items to the list. All right, and then the last thing we need to do is actually set this group list to our formatted list. So we're going to say set formatted list, and then we're going to do object dot values. So this is going to get all of the values, which basically just these. It's going to be an array of arrays, and then we're going to do that on the group list. So we'll get an array of arrays here, and we don't want an array of arrays. We want basically just one array with everything grouped correctly. So the way we'll fix this is we're going to say dot flat, and then we're going to say infinity inside of here. Okay, so what this flat does is basically if there's an inner array, it's going to basically take all of the elements out of the array and put it into the original array. So it's not going to have sub arrays. It's only going to be one array, and it's just going to be basically just one long array. And the purpose of this is because now that we have already grouped it here in this grouped list, they should be in grouped order whenever you look at them on the like in the table. So I don't believe this is going to do sorting. It probably I don't think it'll do sorting. It shouldn't sort unless your list is already sorted. So I think it's just going to group them. So it probably still be out of order. If you're looking for sorting, we can probably do that in a different video. But right now that will work. So now we're going to need to take this group by and actually use it in our component down here. The way we'll do this is we're going to make sure that everywhere we see list, we're going to change it to formatted list. Okay. So it's only, it looks like 2 places. So we'll say formatted list dot length, and then down, where did I see it? Here. We'll say formatted list dot slice. Okay. And then the next thing we need to do is actually add in that function to actually get called when we do something. So right now I'm not going to do anything special. I'm just going to throw it here on the header. So when you click on the header, it will group them. So we'll probably need to change this once we actually do our sorting. But right now, this will work. When we get to the sorting video, we will, update this correctly. So really, we don't need that. We can just say group by, and then we'll throw in the header item. I think that's all we need. So that should do it. And now if we run this, I'm not even going to change this from using the tab view because we have a table in there. So we're just going to use that. Let's go ahead and go npm run start. All right, so now we have that. And as you can see, it's not in groups. So if I click subject, and you see now we have them grouped. So algebras with algebra, biology with biology. There's only one world history, so it's by itself. It looks like it did sort. It mightn't. I don't know. Maybe it's the way that we had the order that we had them in. So, yeah. So as we can see, the grouping is working. I don't really have anything else I can group by because everything else is different. But if you have 2 of the same thing, or 2 or more of the same thing, you can go ahead and click it in, it'll group by it. And as we can see, it's not sorting it. It's just trying to group it. All right. All right. That's pretty much it for this one. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe to the channel and all that jazz. And I will see you guys in the next video.